This video continues Chapter 6, Anatomy and Physiology, by looking at the anatomy and physiology, the structure and function of two systems, the digestive system and the urinary system. Let's begin with the digestive system. The digestive system, sometimes called the GI system, is basically that alimentary canal. You've got an opening at each end where food can enter and waste products can exit. The organs of the digestive system will break down that food both chemically and mechanically, absorb the nutrients, and then collect and eliminate waste. Now, when we think about the location of that, we can principally place all of the digestive organs in the abdominal cavity, and that abdominal cavity can then be broken into 4 quadrants centered on the belly button, the umbilicus. Knowing where organs are located by those quadrants will help as you assess a patient. Mechanical digestion is simply the physical breaking down. So think about chewing and what that would do to move food into smaller particles with a higher surface area that are going to be then digested more easily as they pass through the other organs. Chemical digestion involves lots of the enzymes that we find that help break down large food molecules, fats and proteins, into smaller bits as well. That actually begins in the mouth with some of the enzymes we find in our saliva. Now, when food enters, we again get the mechanical digestion of chewing and some chemical digestion of saliva, principally that will break down starch. And then we can swallow and pass food down the esophagus, transiting the thoracic cavity and entering the abdominal cavity. The first organ there is the stomach. More chemical digestion occurs with hydrochloric acid breaking food into smaller pieces, and then we pass into the small intestine. Each one of those components helps with nutrient absorption. 2 organs help with that digestive process. The pancreas is going to secrete enzymes that help with all of those larger food molecules, fats, starches, and proteins. And the liver really is going to help with digestion of fats. Now, the small intestine is really lined with some particles, the villi there, and they're very high surface area. Again, that's going to help with the passage of chemical nutrients across that barrier of that intestinal lining into our bloodstream. The nutrients can go to the liver, more processing, and then get dumped back to the bloodstream on their way through the heart so they can pass through the body. Now, unused food and wastes then collect in the large intestine after the small intestine has done its job of nutrient absorption. And the large intestine further does a job of not just collecting waste, but reabsorbing water from that material, allowing it to become solid and make for more easy elimination, I suppose you could say. Moving to the urinary system. The urinary system is essentially the kidney, the bladder, and the connecting tubes between. The kidneys do the job of filtering blood and collecting waste products. We see, not in this photo, but very important to understand, that the kidneys are located in the lower back, but they're connected by a single artery and a single vein, allowing for blood to enter the kidney, be filtered, and then return to the bloodstream. Once those wastes have been collected by the kidneys, they'll pass from a ureter into the bladder along with just additional water. And then you're able to voluntarily eliminate those waste products just because you have a muscle, a round muscle, essentially a sphincter, at the bottom of the bladder that allows you to eliminate that. Now, it's important to notice that artery and vein attached to each kidney, blood can enter, be filtered, and then exit. And the kidneys are selective in terms of allowing nutrients to enter and exit with no change, but only collecting the waste. Water in the body is also controlled by the kidneys, and that's going to be tied somewhat to the salt concentration that we have in the bloodstream as well. Now, we can also maintain the balance of other electrolytes and the pH of the blood through the urinary system as well. Remember, the digestive system has that job of processing our food and absorbing nutrients, and then at the tail end, eliminating waste. The urinary system works in conjunction with the cardiovascular system to filter and eliminate waste from the bloodstream, from the kidneys, and that additional water that it helps regulate collecting in the bladder, and then you can eliminate it there.